Morning, my name is Thomas Warnock, and I'm going to walk you through a job that I did for a number of years, a while back, a Directv install. Now, we're going to be looking at the dish that's on my home where I live now here in Southern California, but rest assured I do not have Directv services any longer. That's a story for another time. So here we are at the satellite dish. I've already taken the liberty of getting out some of my tools and everything, ladders and whatnot. That dish has to be mounted into the fascia board, and it's supposed to be underneath this stud right here, but as you can see, the guy didn't do that. Where's it at? Right in here? Yeah, he didn't get to that. This here is one of the two dithering helps. You would line this up to 0. There should be a red line somewhere in here. I'm not going to climb all the way up there, guys, just not. Did this for too long. This is a level of degrees that Directv gives us so that we know exactly kind of a pinpoint where to point the dish, because when it comes to space, if the same way that we've heard our leaders talk about the degrees of a railroad track, that if we switch that track just 1 degree, instead of ending up in Los Angeles, we could end up in Toronto, Canada. So it's the same way with space. Just 1 inch degree here and we're talking millions of miles. This is what we in Southern California call the smart box. This is on the outside of the home. This is DirecTV's splitter, where it looks like they had 3 receivers hooked up at one point. And it's not grounded. This is the green ground wire. It's supposed to come in from the bottom, which it does. And it's supposed to tie in right here with this guy, but it doesn't. So, and the Verizon guy that we have, he didn't ground his unit either. I'll probably have to come back out and do that at some point. So now I'm going to walk you through just a couple of tools that help us do the outside part of things and one of them the inside part of things. The first one is the Bird Dog satellite meter, which this is my 3rd or 4th take of doing this video, and I can promise you that this thing is not working right now. It says 8%, but when I try to turn it on, it just won't come on. It's pretty old. But what this would do is it would give you a percentage. It would show you the satellite that you're trying to look for, and you could switch it with some of these other buttons, the left and right. And it would give you a percentage of how tied into that signal you were. And when you got to 100, well, you know, you got to 100. This is our cable line finder. I can hook up this end to the outside or the inside, and hook it up to one of the cables, and then take this little end and be able to find out whether or not I've got the right one, because it's powered. There's a battery inside this part here. What you would do is imagine the cable in between these two pieces, and you would something like that. Red light goes on, makes the noise, and you have found your cable. These are some of the connectors that you would use. This is for RG59, this is for RG6. This is what most standard cable lines are for. Cable lines, sat lines, it's all the same. But ironically enough, you can't share them, which is unfortunate for technicians that walk into homes that are using both styles. So here we are in my least favorite place in the entire install is the attic. When we moved in here, we noticed that this light had been on. I came up here 4 months later after we got here and tried running these Cat 5 lines to each room. I wanted to kind of run my stereo. Anyway, this is the black lines. The white lines are power lines for the house, and the black lines are the satellite cable, internet, RG6 lines. As you can see, the attic is a very small place. This one's actually pretty big for its size, but in the summers, it's hot. It's hot, and it's miserable, and I hated it. You can see I didn't get all my Cat 5 lines done, because sometimes what happens in these rooms is they'll have a fire break inside the wall, and if you don't have the extension tool to drill a hole on that fire break, it's a 2x4 in between your studs on your wall, then you can't get the lines down any farther. And that's kind of where I ended up. Down here, you can see the black line. That's what we're using for Verizon, but the people that lived here before us used it for DirecTV. It can send whatever kind of video feed cable that you want for it. And yeah, you'd think that I would have been able to tie off my Cat 5 cable and just pull it through, but somebody had put like a liquid stucco type of insulation foam inside the wall when the place was being built. So I didn't want to run the risk of tearing out the existing wire and causing myself a giant headache. So I left it and we went and bought a little Wi-Fi thing, so now I can still hook up my stereo to my computer. So that was a real brief run at a Directv installation. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope it was thorough enough for a decent grade. Thank you, and have a great day.